With his win at Talladega Superspeedway, Chase Briscoe is the next to qualify in the Final Four of the 2025 NASCAR Playoffs. But with it, a lot of people are questioning how good Briscoe really is, and I think that people need to be reminded just where he came from and just how good he's been this year and in general. Go all the way back to 2020. The world was such a different place. And what I mean by that is Stewart-Haas Racing was good, and it still existed. Chase Briscoe being the long-term future of a team that dominated Cup competition for the better part of the last decade, and especially that 2020 season. Kevin Harvick, the franchise driver, winning 9 of 36 races in a performance that was championship-worthy in all but format. And with it, the next year, Briscoe would be jumping up to the Cup Series. I mean, after all, in only 33 races, he also had 9 wins, and while he finished 4th in the point standings, leading over 1,000 laps in the process, he was a dominant force, and he could beat anyone, even a prime Kyle Busch at the time. He was able to beat in that kind of equipment. With Clint Bowyer retiring, Briscoe would be tapped to take over the number 14, the number of his hero and team owner, Tony Stewart. And thus his Cup career started. Now, to say that his 2021 rookie season was rough more often than not would be hitting the nail on the head. It was definitely a tough jump to go from the Xfinity Series, where he had the best, or at least some of the best equipment, to the Cup Series, where it was clear that Stewart-Haas Racing was taking a bit of a step back from their dominant 2020. Still, overall, it was a solid base, and he even competed for a win at the Indy Road Course and looked the part a lot of the time as the year started to go on. 2022 would be really good for him because of this, and he get his first major accomplishment as a NASCAR Cup Series driver, winning the spring race at Phoenix, making the playoffs right off the bat. And while you look at the season in its entirety, it was not maybe the best. You got to remember that Stewart-Haas Racing was continuing to take steps back in this time. Yet Briscoe, against all odds, was the driver taking steps forward. And when he was actually able to get into the playoffs, he was actually able to make up ground and move through them all the way to the round of 8. Now, most don't remember it because of the Hail Melon, but at Martinsville, he was right up at the front for a lot of that race. If anything wild happened in front of him, there was a very low but still an off chance that he could have been in the Final Four. With Stewart-Haas Racing starting to fully deteriorate, though, this all was a complete miracle that he got this far, and 2023 would be a return back down to earth. A penalty early in the season nuked the team out of orbit, and they already didn't really have what it took to compete for wins week in and week out, so Briscoe basically had a lost year in 2023. Now, much like the year of 2020, 2024 was a time of massive change and upheaval, as in Stewart-Haas Racing finally croaked. This would be the last year of SHR, and after that, drivers, workers, everybody else involved would go their separate ways. Yet Chase Briscoe, even with this team going even further down into the depths of mediocrity, was the bright spot. He outperformed his equipment more often than not, and while it really made him a middle teens driver for much of the year, it still meant that he was doing much better than this car was probably having any business to do. And entering the last race of the regular season, funnily enough this year in Darlington at the Southern 500, he would win his way into the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, beating Kyle Busch again in a late race duel at Darlington, and this time being able to celebrate with his entire family. He'd even make it all the way to the second round of the 2024 playoffs, and it was clear that whatever the next step that he had, it could be really, really good for whatever team decided to take a chance and pick him up.
There really is a leadership role in that aspect, and whenever Chase comes into the car, whenever I don't even know what to say.
To say that a lot of people out in the public were a little mixed on Chase Briscoe being a driver that would go to Joe Gibbs Racing, I think is another one that hits a nail on the head. So while there was a bit of optimism around him, there was also a bit of mystery. And the start of the 2025 season really didn't help much with that. It was a slow start. And even Briscoe himself had said that he needed time to ease into the new role and new ride. The JGR cars drive differently than what he's had before because they are just better equipment overall. And he did get a win at Pocono in the summer, but a lot of people noted that that was more due to next-gen shenanigans rather than his own driving, more or less. Or at least that was the excuse that some used. For instance, though, he was able to go out there basically running half throttle and run as fast as the rest of the pack, saving gas all the way to the finish. So there was still an asterisk a little bit next to him when people said that he was a championship contender. But from the 20th race of the season, that happening at Sonoma Raceway, all the way to this past week's 34th race of the season at Talladega, he has been an elite driver. 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, all in 15 starts. And of those 8 top 5s, 6 of those were finishes of second or higher. He's led laps in almost every one of those. He's run up front and gotten stage points in pretty much all of those. He overall has been lightning fast for the second half of this season. And with that, he also now has been able to get wins. He won for the second year in a row at Darlington for the Southern 500, and now he won at Talladega. And say what you want about the Dega side of it, but the Darlington win was utter domination. And now, Briscoe, in my opinion, is an elite driver. An elite driver who fully needs to be considered as such. And the thing is, it's not just that, he won his way in. He has the most top 5s of anyone in the NASCAR Cup Series this year, or they scored the most points of the 8 playoff races so far, and would probably be leading had they done, say, a 10-race chase. A lot of people said, he's just winning at different points. Well, when you look at his total season, he is one of the top 5 drivers up there. People want to look at the full season points, so look at how many points have been scored all year. Chase Briscoe is above some of the absolute best in the Cup Series, and he's right up there with Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. So no, this is not a driver that fluked his way into this opportunity. This is a driver, and this is the scary part for a lot of probably the competition, this is a driver that I think is probably only going to get better over time. There's a reason entering the playoffs, he was my championship pick. Because I think that Chase Briscoe and the 19 team are only just getting started. So with that, I want to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that Chase Briscoe is worthy and could win the title? Or do you think people like myself are overblowing it? And that even without a Penske car getting in there, he's probably going to get beat. Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. While you're at, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.